Hello, everyone, and welcome to Slippy and Thrifty Show. This is Thrifty, and that is
Slippy.
how you doing, Slippy?
I'm very good, John. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I got a question for you, sir.
What's up?
So that black shirt you're wearing right now,
Yeah.
how long has that been on your body?
About 5 minutes. Why? Why'd
Oh,
you
okay.
ask?
No, I just thought I saw you on Patty's yesterday, and you were wearing like a similar shirt, I think.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then
pretty similar.
they're all black though, right? So
Yeah, they're all the same, just with a different bit in the
different
front.
fit in the
But I mean,
front.
if I
Okay,
just do this, it's technically a different T-shirt. Then if I just do this, look, here we go,
okay. It's
jackass.
better. It's better than the Forbidden 13 shirt, I
What was
must
wrong
say.
with that one, though? What was wrong with that one?
If you want to know, go back and watch that episode. I don't want to repeat that.
Bring that up again.
All
That's
right,
just
so what do we got today? We got some cool stuff. What do you
yeah.
want
So
to?
today we're going to be So we're going to be looking at the best way to sort of store knives. We've asked in the Discord for people's opinions and the way they sort of store their knives. And we're going to sort of take a look through some examples, as well as myself and John are going to be telling you what we do to store our knives.
All
So we've
right,
got
so
some pretty good
before
stuff.
before you get too far, where did you get the information from?
So we got the information from Discord, the Slip Joint Sanitarium, to be
And what
precise.
is that all about?
So it's a Discord that I created for I'm going to use the word knife enthusiast, but it's more like addicts, where we all join, talk about knives, loads of different stuff going on, loads of banter in there, really. And then a lot of people get kind of bullied in there, like me. John likes to do a little bit of trolling in there as well, which is always fun.
Oh, I get
Um,
bullied too. Don't
yeah,
think I don't get
sometimes.
bullied.
Yeah, there was a good period in there for a while where you tried going up against the British, and we pretty much just annihilated you with the gifts straight away.
I was the only American in there besides Randy,
And Randy put in a
and
fish
the only
pie.
defense that Randy offered was a fish pie.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
didn't work out.
Nah, not at
Didn't work
all.
out. I got destroyed. But anyway, uh, make sure that you check out the link in the description of the video. We're going to provide that for the Discord. And anybody who is not already joined up on that, it's just a great place to come in, discuss knives, show knives, talk about other knife related things, and sometimes completely non related knife things.
Just
But
chat about anything really. It's just a lot of people in there having a good time.
yeah,
It's getting pretty popular now. I'd say we have about 50 plus people in there at the moment.
yeah, it's blown
Doing pretty
up.
well.
Blown up. All right, so what do we have for today's program, sir? You want to kind of delve into?
Sure. So John put a message in the Slip Joint Sanitarium Discord asking for the way that people store their knives. What sort of, if they use a container, do they use a, like what? How would they sort of keep them safe, things like that. We had a load of responses back, which we're very appreciative of. And we're going to take a look at some of those responses now, along with the way that myself and John sort of store our knives. As we both sort of feel this is a topic that's not really discussed enough in the knife world, because we all talk about what knives we're getting, but not really how we're storing them. And we all have very different opinions on what we should be storing them and how we should be storing them, but they're all great in their own sort of way, why that sort of fits that person. So I think it's a pretty great topic, really, that needs to be discussed a lot more, I think.
Right. And as we get into this, we're going to talk about each of the individual people and their options that they use, but can't say as much about some of the stuff that they do because we don't know how exactly they use the stuff they use, other than just that it's for storage. But we'll get into a little
Yeah.
more detail when we get to the ones that we actually use ourselves. All right, so let's take a look at this first slide.
Okay,
So this
so
one,
the go
go
on,
ahead. You
John.
want to do this, or do you want me to do it?
You go this one. Go for
All
it.
right. So Hesh says, I'm currently using the Brent Maker display case from Amazon. I have an Apache 4800 from Harbor Freight as well, but haven't used it since my collection is currently in flux with a lot of buying and selling. So he's primarily using the Brant Maker, and it says, this is basically the layered style case, and then of course the Apache is more like the hardcore hard
Yeah, like a
case.
pelican sort of case, isn't it?
Yeah, a hard shell type case.
Yeah.
It says I paid a lot less for the Apache at Harbor Freight. You can get it on Amazon, but for anybody who's in the UK or doesn't know what Harbor Freight is, it's sort of like a very budget-ended hardware store for tools and things,
Hmm.
and they sell a lot of like Chinese products that are pretty low end, but they do have some sort of medium quality stuff, and have their own line of tools and things. But for the most part, they're just really like budget-ended place
Yeah,
to
like,
go for tools.
friendly. You can get some good stuff for good prices, really, can you?
Yeah, I don't know if you have some kind of an equivalency there, and
Similar sort of stuff. Nothing really that exactly the same.
mhm.
Mainly because they don't really sell that sort of knife cases and things in the UK, but you get similar sort of own brand tool shops, things like that. So pretty similar stuff, really, I'd say.
Yeah, well, I mean, just even this hard shell case is like you could see it's got camera equipment in it. It could be used
Yeah,
for anything, just like cutouts or whatever.
yeah,
But he goes on to say the brand maker is good buy, in my opinion. It's canvas outside with some structure for integrity or rigidity. It holds up well. I've had some other ones in the past with fake leather on the outside that the cat liked to shred up or love to shred. So the Apache seems like high quality, but I haven't even cut the foam on it yet. So okay, so he's still kind of in the works of using the Apache. You do have to kind
yeah,
of cut the foam inserts and make them
yeah.
custom
Choosing to what
fit
you
everything.
want, don't you? It just gives you a blank bit of foam, and you sort of do what you
Right.
want with
So
it.
let's take a look at the close-ups of these. So here's
Sure.
the Apache case. And you can see where it's been used for camera equipment. They cut out the spots for the lenses and the camera and so forth and the accessories.
Yeah, you
He's
can
just
see
kind
this
of
would be for me. This would be much better for maybe transporting knives, things like that, because it's such a like a high quality, like hard
right.
shell case. That'd be much better for that sort of thing. So much for carrying sort of knives just in like as storage or display. I probably wouldn't use this sort of thing as. I'm trying to think of the correct way of saying it. It's a bit inconvenient, having to open it, find which knife you want, close it up,
Right.
put it away, which is why I went for a different sort of storage option myself. But
This to me,
transporting definitely the thing for this.
yeah, this to me is like you say for transport or for long term storage where you're not going to be getting in and out of it a lot.
Yeah,
And maybe chuck this in the closet and kind of just have it out of the way or whatever.
yeah,
But
the sort of place you'd put your safe queens in. They're going to be stored in their safe, out the way, that sort of
mhm.
thing.
So that one's like $100, so not bad. I think that's a pretty good price. We're going to look at
Especially
another
for what
hard.
you're getting.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at another hard shell case later. That's quite a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
From
So this is
here's
the brand maker case, 31.99 on Amazon. Display case for 61 pocket knives in a collection. Has a shoulder strap. It's pretty much the standard sort of Velcro or not Velcro, sorry, elastic inserts, like two per knife, as you can see on the image there. Does seem to hold up pretty well. I've got something quite similar myself as well. I know John's got something with the elastic in there as well. And
mhm.
you can see there's also a divider between the knives, so you're not having them rubbing on each other inside the case, which also is something I would sort of look for if I'm going to be having a case like this. But it looks
Yeah.
for $31, that looks like a bargain to me.
Then I'm just reading the description there, and it says the knife collection case with 5 different size slots. So that would be really good for a variety of sizes and things.
Yeah.
Um, it's always kind of going to come down to like, well, how many you have a particular size and how many
Hmm.
slots are going to fit those particular knives to see if it's the best fit for you. But if you just kind of have a mishmash of knives of different sizes, I think this would probably work pretty well.
Yeah,
But
it looks like a great option. The price is pretty much right on. It's got a 101 slot design, can hold a total of 61. Well, 61 plus it says. So obviously, depending on the size, you could probably fit. If you had smaller ones, maybe like classic SDs, instead of using the or the two elastics per knife, you could probably do one per SD. So you could get like 120 of those in there if that's what you had, for example. But
yeah,
it's
just
good slots really for your collection. If it's got a varied collection, I think this is a great idea for you.
right. Okay, so thank you, Hesh, for that contribution. That was really good. I really
Yeah, he was
appreciate
straight
it.
in there as soon as you put that in there. He was the first one, pretty much within the minute, wasn't it? He was
Yep,
right on
straight
the
away.
money with his comment.
Yep.
So next up, we have Randy's WSG, and he stores his what I like to call the box O knives. He's got a 30.30 cal ammo box, 12.99, I believe it was. Pretty much what my collection box used to be like when I first started. It was for me. I just had a box, and I was like, right, well, I'll just fill it with stuff. That's pretty much
Right.
exactly what I did.
Yeah. So this is kind of like just well, anybody's familiar with a ammo box. This is the plastic style ones, and he says he puts silica packs in there to keep everything nice and dry. But next picture will show you a better look at the actual case. So we've just kind of picked out one that we thought was similar to what Randy showed, and yeah, just an ammo storage box. So pretty basic.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just stacking the stuff on top of one another. Probably not the best idea if you're trying to keep, your knives from getting scratched up and things. But I suppose if you kept them in slips or whatever, you could do that. But I know if I keep mine,
Randy showed slips in there, so he had leather slips around his knives in there. But that sort of thing would be perfect if you had leather slips on your knives.
Yeah, the only thing with
especially for it's not going to take up much room.
They'll kind of cause some tarnishing if you leave them in leather slips.
Yeah, yeah. But it looks like it's stackable as well, so you could probably have a load of those and stack them up. Yeah, if that's what you wanted to do.
You could, yeah.
And for $12.99 as well, like something that size that you can fit loads of stuff in is a great price as well, I think.
It's a really cheap option. Yep.
Yeah.
So thank you, Randy, for that contribution.
Appreciate it, Randy. Thank you very much.
And so next we've got Prefers Pizza. He's got the Olight roll. Says this is great for 6 knives. And it looks like it's really high quality for what you're getting here.
Yeah, the canvas on it looks great.
Yeah, the canvas is waxed. So he says the Olight roll is great for 6, really well made. Nice waxed canvas on the outside, soft and furry on the inside. Meant for torches, but knives fit great. And you can see the roll on the right there makes it pretty compact once you've rolled it up.
Yeah. I love the fact it's got that flap at the top, that covers them all while you roll it up. So you've got that sort of like double layer protection on it. And it also has that elastic around the outside to hold it together as well, which I think is really great. Some of the knife rolls I've had in the past haven't had any sort of elastic or Velcro. You just sort of roll them up and leave it. But what I've just noticed as well, there's poppers in the corners to hold it closed when you fold the flap over. That's another great thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect for carrying as well.
Just some sort of a looped strap that Velcros to tighten it up. Yeah. But the looks like he's got the knives in there. He's got an Opinel, a couple of Victorinox, and maybe that third one's a Victorinox as well. And then would you say that was a British Army knife?
Yeah, it looks like a British Army knife or a Navy knife. It looks like it might have the Marlin spike on there. So that definitely recognize the sort of the jigging on the handle as definitely a British Army knife.
That gives you a kind of an idea of the size that'll fit. It looks like maybe the ones on the right are a little larger than ones on the left. So give you a little variance in size for the pouches. But that's a cool idea too, and really cheap, inexpensive, like $20. So that's if you just have a small set of knives that you want.
$20 for a high quality canvas roll. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I could see you taking that on a camping trip.
Definitely another great option.
Right. Just something real quick to throw, some of your favorites in or something that you're going to take with you. So
yeah, going away for a couple of days is perfect for that.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, so what we got next?
So we have carving steel next. It's the BRS Vault case, and that was $40.26. So he's basically he currently has this, but unless you have a small collection, I do not recommend. He's already run out of space. The quality is very nice though, so it doesn't hold the biggest amount of knives in it, but if you've got a small collection, it'll be perfect for you. I have something very similar to this as well myself that I bought when I first started collecting. It's like a semi sort of hard case. Does hold quite a few knives in there as well, but we'll take a look at a picture of that now. So this is it, BRS Vault case. 5 removable panels, 85 elastic slots. So, but bearing in mind, you're probably not going to hold 85 knives in it. It's going to be more the case of maybe 5 or 6 knives per sort of removable panel. So you're probably going to be fitting 20, 25 knives in here max. But it does a great job. It's got that carry loop on there as well, zipper closure. And as I mentioned previously, it's like a semi-hard case, so you do get some protection there as well if you're going to store it or in case you drop it, something along those lines. I think that's a real solid choice for a starter case.
What do you think, John? Did you say it was semi-hard?
Semi-hard, yeah. That's exactly what I said.
All right. And so you had a case similar to this, correct?
Yeah, I still have it. I don't actually use it currently because I've got a different storage option at the moment. But I pretty much have this one or something very similar to it.
Right. Okay.
But you can't fault the quality of it. The one I've got, the Vault, is top quality.
Okay. So that one's $40.26.
That's from Amazon as well.
Yeah, another great contribution from Carving Steel. Thank you, Carving Steel. So what do we have next? Okay, so CM Yo, he says I buy pencil boxes when they're cheap and they can divide my styles, makers, etc. They tend to stack, and I can see through enough to see what I have in them. So these are very affordable. You get 4 of them for like $13 as you see here on Amazon.
Yeah,
And there's a
bargain.
lot of different varieties of the cases that are all pretty much the same idea. Just have a little plastic flap on the top, and then they're just large enough for like I don't know, maybe about a 4-inch knife to go from front to back, and then you can just stack them up sideways along the length of the
Yeah,
case.
you can obviously get them all in clear, or you can have them multicolored if that's what you want. But
Hmm.
for for your bang for your buck, and if you don't have much storage area, maybe you've only got a little corner you can stack them up in. I think that's a great idea as well. It's not going to take up much room. You can get, what would you say? You probably get like 4 or 5 Rough Riders wide in that, like Stockman's, maybe 6.
Front to back, side to
Yeah.
side. Oh, I'd say more than that. They're probably about 10 inches wide, so I'd say you could
Oh,
probably
quite a
get,
few then.
yeah, I'd say maybe a dozen.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
another really great storage option. So CMO, we appreciate that. Thank you very much for taking part. Just
Yep.
for the bang for your buck, I think that's one of the best.
Yeah, definitely. Just a real affordable option. Again, I don't know if like the protection thing, it becomes a concern if that's you've got like higher end knives,
Mm.
but if you're just kind of not too concerned about you're just users or whatever, they're getting banged around anyway. It's not a big deal.
Yes,
So it works
it's
out.
plenty enough to store them just for the time being. Maybe it's temporary storage, whatever. But I think this is still a real great option.
Yeah, he says he does like the ammo box idea. So
Yeah.
taken from Randy.
So
Okay, so
next up
here's
we have,
Stu.
yeah,
Go ahead.
Retro Stew has the sort of Amazon makeup drawers. I also have something very similar to this. They were 19.99 on Amazon. You can see there's 2 pictures of them there. So this one has the 4 drawers at the bottom, and the top one I believe is a lid that lifts up. So the top drawer is more of it's not less of a drawer, more of like a little tiny box on the top. But again, really great option. It's clear, you can see through it. He's added those little foam mats in there to stop them sliding around inside the box and getting scratched up. But first-hand experience, something like this I have myself. I think it's a great idea. I love the fact that it's clear and you can see through what you've got without having to like rummage through your drawers, see what you want to carry for the day. And yeah, as I did say, he added a liner to each of these as well. So here's a bit more of a closer up of the pictures. So you can see there was 19.99 on Amazon for 5 drawers, and 4 with that flap on the top as well. What do you think of this option, John? Do you like these or?
Yeah, I like it a lot because of the clarity and being able to see in there and
Yeah.
what you've got going on in each drawer. The also looks like you can buy like larger quantities for pretty good
Mm.
price. They save a little bit if you get more of them and so forth. But yeah, I just don't with the opening top on the top. I guess that's my one kind of quibble. Is because if you
Yeah,
stack
same with
something
me.
on top, then you don't have the ability to open the drawer anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you just have a quantity of knives that will fit in the 5 drawers, you don't need like a massive amount of storage. Then that's a great option, I think.
Yeah, definitely for like a small sort of area as well. They're not huge. I think it looks roughly the same size as widthways as mine is, and I can get maybe 8 Rough Rider sow bellies wide as an example. So that they are a decent sort of size to get quite a few knives in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's got like moderns in there, so they're a little bigger
Hmm.
than your normal traditional knife. Go
So
ahead.
next up we have Ian Rankin. This is I think probably my favorite of the bunch, just purely on the fact that he got it for £10 from a charity shop. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Repurposing, recycling, which we always like to see anyway. And it's kind of hard to see on the picture, but this drawer and cabinet, he has got them all labeled, so I can see he's got RRI in the middle there. He's got Sheffield with the UK's badge on it, and they're all sort of laid out in either in brands or area where they've come from. And I think he's done a fantastic job with it, especially for that price as well. You really can't go wrong. I would love to have something like this.
Yeah, to me, this is like the ultimate like setup because you're pretty much unlimited on, well, not unlimited, but you can get a lot of knives in those drawers.
Yeah, what's he
And it
got?
doesn't
One,
take
two,
up just a
three.
tremendous amount of room because of the drawers are nice and slender, and it's vertical design, so it's not taking up a lot of floor space.
Yeah,
And
there's 15
he's
drawers in
got
there as well.
his sitting on top of a safe to kind of lift it up
Yeah.
off the floor a little more. So yeah, he says picked up this for $10 in a charity shop. The safe was about 50 pounds, I think. Still have a couple of drawers left to fill. So he's got a lot of storage room and still a little bit left. So
yeah,
thank
Ian,
you.
it's unacceptable to have drawers left to fill, so you need to sort of sort that out pretty soon.
Yeah, well, if he stays in the Discord long enough, that won't be a problem. But thank you, Ian, for your contribution. This was really cool.
Definitely
I'm glad,
not the sort of the buy attitude we have in there.
Yeah, I just think this was a fantastic
Yeah, it's a
idea
great one.
and great pickup for finding that in the thrift store or whatever. You must have been elated when you saw that.
Yeah, I mean, if I walked to the shop and it would have been awkward for me to carry it home, I would have still walked home with it for that price.
Put it on your back and just kind of tote it.
Yeah. Next up, we have Mattisfaction, and he uses a Craftsman storage organizer. It's about $23.31. Another I think it's pretty much perfect for his sort of collection because he loves the sort of bigger modern knives. And you can see he gets one per tray in that, which I think it's perfect for him. If that's what your collection sort of is, then you can see some of the size there. We've got some Demcos in there. What else have we got in there? Just like some real chunky modern knives. And
looks like a Spyderco maybe on the second
one
row
per
down,
tray.
third from the right. I see a big hole there, so it looks like a Spyderco.
Yeah. So there's no chance these are going to bang against each other. There's going to be no scratches on the knives. You can clearly see through what he's got in there as well, so he hasn't got to rummage through to find what he wants. Plus, he's got a couple of drawers there to fill up as well, so that's also unacceptable.
It might just be his carries that he's got.
What, he's carrying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Hey, you never know, man. I know the guys that carry like 4 and 5 knives.
Yeah. A lot of people carry a lot of knives on the same day. But here it is on Amazon, as I was saying, the Craftsman storage organizer, 30 small drawer modular storage system. It does say it's stackable as well, which is I really like. If I'm buying sort of storage things, I like them to stack. It makes more sense rather than just being the space on top just being redundant afterwards. But you can see pretty straightforward. Pull out drawers. If you wanted to, you could label them on the front if you put different stuff in them. But one knife per drawer, you can just see through what you've got anyway. Really like this design.
I always like the modular idea too, because if you want to add on to your collection and make it consistent with their stack of drawers, that makes a lot of sense to start out with the modular system. When you think you're gonna keep collecting and get larger and larger quantities of knives. So
definitely,
that's a cool option. So thank you, Mattisfaction, for providing your submission there. All right, you want to take this one?
Sure. We've got Cyclone Edge, and he's got the Sealy Machinist Toolbox, and that was $134.95. So he says, I currently have mine stored in drawers, still in their boxes, but he's considering this. So he hasn't technically got it yet, but it does look like a fantastic thing to sort of store your knives in. I know you have something very similar, John.
Yeah, it's nearly identical. I think the only difference really is, if you want to go to that next slide, the name that locks up. It's got the 3 latches. It's got the corner protection, the handle on top. And you don't see it in this picture, but there's actually a mirror on the inside flap, which I actually have covered up with this case sign. But yeah, very, very similar. So I'll talk more about that when I get to mine. But obviously, I like that idea because I've bought them myself. The price, though, this is, I guess, from a website in the UK. It's a little expensive, but they're a little more affordable here in the United States. So when we get to my page, we'll take a closer look at that.
Sure.
But thank you, Cyclone. This is a terrific idea. Obviously, I agree with you.
Yeah. Well, you can see John's in the background. He loves it. I know Paddy also has one very similar, doesn't he? I'm sure he has this exact one, actually.
He may. Yeah, it might be exactly that.
So another one from Easy C. He's got the Nalpac Pelican Vault for $169.95. So quite a pricey option, but he does have quite a high-end collection and does enjoy, collecting the higher-end pieces. So this would be a perfect thing for that if you want him to stay safe. but you know this is going to be made in like real good quality. It's made in the USA as well, and you can see the little foam slots there that's cut out. You can stack each individual knife sort of on its end, which I quite like as well. Make a bit more of the storage.
Yeah, it was very much like that Apache case that we looked at earlier. This one's already got the pre-cut out foam insert already in there. You don't have to do any of the manual work to cut them out or anything for yourself. They're already, it's already pre-cut. And it looks like he's got, like a little space there in between for like perhaps some tools or wrenches or other knife maintenance items, accessories, maybe some oil or whatever have. And just makes for a really nice little combination carry for the knives and all the little things you'll need for maintenance and stuff. So
again, like if maybe you had a load of safe queens, I think this would be another great option for that. Yeah, it's a little bit pricey, but they're going to be kept safe in this.
Yeah, and Pelican is like high end in these style cases. This is like, they've got a reputation for being really well made. It's made in the USA. It's not made overseas, so it's high quality stuff, pretty durable, and like I say, it's kind of a popular brand. So yeah, you're paying a little more, but I think you're getting a higher quality case.
Yeah, you're paying for that USA made and the top quality you get when it's made there as well.
All right.
So appreciate that, Easy C. Really, really grateful for that. This one was sort of a late entry from Warthog. It came in pretty much minutes before we started this. But he stores is in 2-inch by 5-inch Ziploc bags with silica packets. He said, "Hey guys, I use 2x5 Ziploc bags and a pack of desiccant for my traditional knife storage. So the silica basically helps absorb the moisture and stops any sort of rust or anything sort of damaging the knives while they're in storage. I think that's a great idea as well. I actually don't have any silica for mine. I probably should get some, especially some of the carbon steel blades I don't use very often."
Right. Yeah. Well, a lot of times that some of the knives, they come with them, and I save them. So you'll have some packets just to have, and then I throw these in my drawers to just put in there with the knives.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good idea.
Good idea. I know they come in some rough. I might start keeping some of those for myself.
Right, and I know that Knife Delights didn't contribute, but I know he does something similar. I think he's got all of them in bags, and then he's got like little small plastic totes that he puts them in. So it's a very similar type storage option. But if you go to that next picture, we get to see of a kind of an example here. Yeah, so here's his 2x5 little Ziploc bag there with the silicate packet inside there.
But it's like one knife per bag, and it's pretty much perfect for a traditional sort of knife to keep the the blades from rusting or picking up a patina. Yeah. And he just says there he just puts them in a normal drawer in the house, so he must have the drawers full like these.
Yeah, and I know you get on me about my tags for the Victorinox or whatever.
Oh, you're old.
But I know that Tom,
your old man tags.
Puts tags inside the bags, right? So he labels all the information and then puts them in there, makes it easy to identify. So yeah, just
especially if you've got a massive collection as well.
Well, if you've got collections from older stuff that's not as easy to remember or identify because you're not buying them all the time, yeah, it makes it pretty tough. But
especially vintage brands of companies that have gone bust or no longer produce anymore.
Right.
It'd be really useful for that sort of thing as well.
Yeah, he's got stuff that, he mentions on there, but I can never remember until he says it again type things. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Some really older stuff. So yeah, that's a really cool idea too. And Warthogs has a really high end collection too. I mean, not all of his stuff, but a good part of it is really high end.
He has some crazy traditional knives. I love watching videos when he puts them up. Some of the stuff he has on there is absolutely mental. Like he pretty much has like a dream collection, I think.
Yeah, he's definitely got one of the better collections I've seen on YouTube at least. But still waiting to see. I would love to, have Mike on the show, to have him show Mike Curtis.
Oh, we'd be here for weeks and showing off his collection. Weeks.
Yeah,
and
you
weeks.
guys are going on and on about how many of the drawers y'all were digging through at the Sharp show and the Robert Cutting guy.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, okay, well, that probably doesn't even compare even to the slightest amount of what Mike's got.
Not at all. There was maybe 300 nutcase knives altogether there in boxes, and that's probably about a third of his collection. So it's nothing really.
Right. All right, so what we got next? Oh,
Do you want
mine.
to take this
Okay.
one?
Yeah, I'll take this. So this is the one I got, and I actually bought it here at Harbor Freight. The first one I bought, I actually have two of these. So the first one I bought was $85, and then for whatever reason, I'm not exactly sure why, the second one was not at this price, and I think I paid around 100 for it. But it does come with all those drawers that you see there, and it actually includes some little spacer things that I just chucked out of there. They weren't useful at all. It took up too much room, but basically allowed you to put like individual tools in there without them sliding around. It is lined with like a felt, all that green that you see there, and then it does have that bottom portion you can just pull out. I know that Patty's filmed some of his videos on top of that little pull out part. Now I don't have that on top of a desk, so it's not very useful for me. That bottom portion, the little pull out, but the drawers are great because these are the ones I store all my like recent, frequently carried knives. I put my frequently carried knives in the top six drawers, and then have like my Victorinox in the bottom two. But the top just stores stuff that I've recently purchased that needs to be reviewed and that sort of thing. So I know kind of what I've got to review yet, and then I've just put this, as you can see, the case. I got it's a license plate, oval. It's an oval license plate, and I just tacked that on there because the mirror was annoying when I was doing videos and things. So yeah, it caused reflection. So I just got rid of that. But yeah, this is got a lock on the front. If you wanted to lock it up, you can do that. The top locks and that front portion slides out like this. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, and it has a
Yeah.
lock here at the top. So you can do it both ways, and it'll be completely secure from anyone who's not going to just bust this thing open. But the other thing I use, and this stores the majority of my knives that aren't being frequently used, is this 24 case. It's called the Carry All Safe and Sound, and that's what it looks like when it's open, and this is what it looks like when it's closed. You can see I've just labeled that with some like a paint pen or whatever you want to call it. So these are my extra large Stockman, just two snaps like that, and then it opens up like a book. You can see that.
It's almost like a ring binder, isn't it? Like a
Yeah,
sort
it's
of
got like
size.
a binder, pretty much. It just has two folds in it, and then it has the flaps that protect the knives so that they're not rubbing on one another when you have the two sides, together like that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, if I can hold that up and kind of see how that works. And they just got it on.
Yeah,
both
you can
sides.
see where it covers it. It's keeping them nice and safe. Stop them rubbing when you close it. Because I've had a couple of knife cases before where it's been similar to that, but when you close it, there's nothing in the middle. So then you just have the knives sort of just rubbing against each other in the middle. Yeah, which I thought was a poor design. But you're getting that for $6.44. I mean,
yeah, and the thing is with elastic, if you have smaller knives, right, you can take the tension out of the center portion all the way to the edge, so you can just have looser elastic at the middle, and then have like, so if you had like a classic SD that was really tiny.
Oh, so that elastic is all one long bit, is it?
Yeah, it's just kind of wound in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Right. So you can just kind of pull it.
You can like adjust it where you want it to, really.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Now, if you had, the middle row, then you wouldn't be able to, because then you would have a lot of slack in it. But you're just eliminating like one section. So not bad. And it works out. So like when I don't have all of it full, I'll just say I only have like 6 in one of those rows. Then I can just pull it tight all there through there. Maybe I can kind of show that. I think it's pretty understandable.
Yeah, you just sort of taking the slack.
Yeah, you can see that I've got that entire row full. But if I was to need to get slack, I can just pull it tight.
Oh yeah, where you've got it bunched up. Yeah.
Right. So yeah,
works. That's a cool idea. It works. It's a great storage option. At a budget price as well, $6.44 for that. And how many knives do you roughly get in there? 24, is it? Case
24.
24. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you can't get like super large knives in there. Like I struggled to get something like the size of a buck 110 in there.
Mm.
It's something that's pretty thick, you know.
Yeah.
But something like a sow belly or any of these Rough Rider knives that are,
Yeah.
something about like that
Like
size.
I don't really want to say the normal traditional knives, but like the more classic patterns. I know a buck 110
Yeah.
is, but the slip
Something.
joint sort of.
This is
Yeah.
like the perfect size for that, like a
Yeah.
3 3/4 inch, not super thick, but about like that. It's
Just fits between those bits
it's
of elastic
ideal for that.
perfectly.
Right, yeah. And I got probably about 20 of these. I mean, with the affordability of them,
Yeah,
and
you
the
just
fact
buy
that
a load at once, won't you?
yeah, and Chicago Knife Works has free shipping, so even if you bought like 10 of them, and it would come in a pretty decent sized box, it's not going to cost you anything because it's free shipping. So you don't have to pay for the the kind of the weight of it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
I think that's fantastic.
yeah, really good option. So what do you got?
So I have something very similar to Stu, as I mentioned when we looked at his. So I have the I'm going to say the word because John found it amusing. I have the disco ball. Um, I have disco balls acrylic makeup organizer 4 drawers. So I only get the 4 drawers instead of the 5 he did, but I went for this because it doesn't have the flap on the top, and I can stack them on top of each other, which is what I really wanted.
Right.
I also have the same sort of grippy inlay as is on this, but I don't know why they're showing it on the picture, but it definitely doesn't come with it. Because I think I have, I got 1, 2, I've got 4 of these now, so I've got 24 drawers or whatever it is. So yeah, I've got 4 of these. They didn't come with a grip, but I added my own. I've just got a white grip in there. You can see through when they're stacked. It's nice and secure. You can just pull the drawer out, take what you would need, and sort of pop it away. And I can give you an example of one of the drawers I've got here. Which drawer should I show, John? Should I show the favourite drawer?
Whichever.
So here is my sort of sow belly drawer. So you can see I have, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got 9 sow bellies wide in there. And then it's enough room to sort of fit some at the back as well. So I've got sow belly trapper here at the back, and with a smaller sort of sow belly in there as well. But you can see the grip I put in there as well, the white stuff. So you can fit quite a decent amount of knives in there. It's got a nice little handle on the front as well, so you can pull the tray out. It's really well made. It's quite a weight in there, all these knives, and there's no sort of sign of it cracking or pulling apart at the seams or anything like that. I think it's really well made.
So you have
me,
a total of 4 disco balls?
I have 4. I have 4 disco balls. If I move some stuff out of the way, I can actually show you my stacked disco balls. Would you like to see?
I've just never seen anybody with 2 pair of disco balls.
Let me grab the camera and we can have a look at the stacked disco balls.
Okay.
So you can see them.
Oh yeah, there you go. Let's take a look at that closer up. There you go. I can't hear you right now. Can't hear you. You're not talking into your mic with your head turned. Can't hear you, Mike. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay, we couldn't hear you there for a minute.
That's weird.
All right,
I don't understand why you couldn't.
Yeah, I don't know if you were talking away from the mic because your head was covered or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay.
So did you get to see?
Yeah, we got to see it. We just couldn't hear what you were saying.
Very strange.
And so $26, and yeah, you have to add your own like just liners, especially like toolbox liner or whatever you prefer.
Yeah. But I think I just used sort of like I think it's called anti-rug slip matting or something like that.
I think that's like used for your cupboards. You line your cupboards with it.
Yeah, it works great.
I'll have stuff sliding around. It's pretty common stuff. Just anti-slip, whatever they call it.
But it works perfectly for it. It stops the knives sliding around. When you're just opening and closing the drawers, they don't slide to the back when you close the drawer, which is what it was doing before I had it in. I didn't want it to scratch up anymore.
I do have a little bit of a problem with that, with just the felt. I mean, it's if you're real gentle about it, you're not going to go anywhere. But if you forget and you just kind of sluggishly pull that drawer out, it will slide them to the back. So that would probably be better. I guess if I had enough initiative to do it, probably benefit from putting that kind of stuff in the drawers. But one thing I worry about with some of that stuff, I've had bad experiences with that in the past. With it, if you get the wrong kind, like what do you want to call it? The rubber sort of deteriorates a little bit, and then it stains whatever it's touching.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
So
that's kind of why
yeah,
I went for the white. I did have black in a couple of the drawers before, and it didn't sort of tarnish badly because I've sort of let it patina, but it did sort of add some marks to my Buck 110 or one of them. See if we can see it there. See some of the marks up here at the top?
yeah.
Like it does
Yeah, so
polish off.
that's just something to keep in mind when you buy the
Yeah.
liner stuff.
So I did have both of these there on the black one. You can see this one is the gift I got, which I've kept pristine, and you can see I haven't buffed it off. It was on the same black matting. It does buff off, but it's just something to
Right.
keep in mind if you're using that matting that it can sort of tarnish or just mark brass, things like that. But it is easily buff. You can easily buff it off, but it's just something to keep in mind.
Right. Okay. But that's the only one you're using right now, or what do you have something else?
That's what I'm
You got
using
something
right
else.
now. I do have a couple of these as well. So I have 3 of these, 2 of which aren't currently in use. This is what I was using before I bought the drawers. It's a great storage option, don't get me wrong. It's just what I wanted. I wanted to be able to see what I had without having to rummage through everything on remember which case had certain knives in it, because they are just plain black identical. And if I got 3 stacked up, it's hard for me to remember what's in each one. But for $26.99, if they're a bargain, if that's what you want. The middle sort of flap in there does accommodate 5 knives that are smaller, whereas you can see the outside to have 4 larger knives in. You can get 44 plus, obviously meaning that if maybe some of the ones you can put 2 per elastic, but it is a great option as well. Really sort of a good price for something like that. And it is, it's not a hard case, but there is rigidity on the corners and on the back as well to stop it sort of squeezing closed. So it is quite hard of a case as well. Another really great option for it.
I've kind of
Similar to
noticed
what we've
something
seen
about
throughout.
the way that they've aligned the elastic on there. When you fold that over, it actually goes between, so you're still protecting
Yeah.
the other side.
Yeah,
Right.
so there's no protective slap. There's no protective slap. What I mean is flap, but the elastic does sort of do that job for you. It
Right.
goes between, as John mentioned, it goes between the other elastic on the knives opposite.
Okay. So you got the different flaps, and like I say, you could probably go multiple knives per elastic.
Yeah,
But it does look like it's kind of more intended for
storage rather than
knives
display.
of knives that are medium in size to up to large.
Mm. Yeah, like the smaller knives is the sort of elastic is too big, and unlike John's where you can adjust the slack, these are actually sewn between each knife, so you can't sort of adjust them. They're just that's the size and that's it. So some of my smaller British sort of call them gentleman's knives, the very sort of thin aluminum or sort of steel ones, they don't really work in that. They just sort of slide out when you pick the case up. But anything sort of larger than that, like maybe an 84 millimeter sack upwards or 85 banger, sort of perfect for that. Fits in there great, holds them in there really well. I do have a lot of my modern knives and a lot of locking knives in the one case I'm currently using, whereas I keep all my traditionals and ones, the ones I want to keep out in the sort of trays I have next to me, as you saw earlier. But again, if you just want to keep your knives in a cupboard, or if you want to keep them in like a carry case, another great option is this one. It does have a carry handle on it as well when it's all zipped up, so it's not just a book. You can carry it as well.
Yeah, and it looks like I'm seeing some multi-knife or multi-tools in there.
Yeah.
So it looks like it would accommodate pretty large size, bulky style.
Yeah, they look like big
Knives.
Leathermans in there, don't they? You can definitely get some good size stuff in there.
So, yeah, again, some different size options, but I don't know. Like just looking at that, probably not going to be the greatest case for me unless you have a lot of moderns.
Yeah.
More knives with a lot of height to them. So
especially on
yeah.
those larger elastics on the outside. It's
Hmm.
sort of one of the reasons I stopped using it for my knives, because the ones in the middle flap, fantastic. You know, it held them in there quite tight, and there was no movement. But the larger elastic, it was quite slack. I'm not going to lie, and how far apart they are. You see the two elastics on the bottom ones.
Yeah,
On the sow bellies, it was right on the edge of the bolsters either side. So if you wobbled the case, they would just sort of fall out.
I got you.
Mm.
Yeah, so I mean, just kind of one of those things which might be a little bit of a trial and error thing based
Yeah,
on what size
it
knives
definitely
you use.
was for me. I've had quite a few like storage options since I started collecting. I mean, I had one
Yeah.
of those vault cases we showed earlier, but upgraded from that because it only had a couple of slots, and I got quite a few knives now.
Yeah,
But
another thing that I'm just thinking at the top of my head is if you have a knife with the pocket clip, maybe you'd even strap it onto the elastic to keep
yeah,
it a little more secure. I'm not sure if that
that's
would
what I've
work or
pretty
not.
much done with some of my mod knives. I have them sort of so face side down with the clip hooked over the elastic.
Okay.
So it's like that double sort of security. It's clipped on as well as the elastic's holding it down as well.
Right. Okay. $27 for that one. Looks like it's
Uh,
pretty similar to one of the others. Maybe the other one was a little better in the variance of sizes that it would hold.
yeah,
So,
but if you've got a modern collection with loads of pocket clips, this would be perfect.
right. More like what Matt had. There was a
Yeah,
lot of moderns,
yeah.
but
For
yeah,
traditionals, like for me, go with the drawers all day. I think they're fantastic.
I think there's even more storage options that we probably haven't even covered. We just need to be a little more creative in our solutions. One of the great things that I've always kind of tried to take pride in is that making use of things in ways that weren't intended. Like much of what we showed with that cabinet, filing cabinet, right? You know, that was
I'll
never meant
bring
to
that up
be.
now. Let's
Yeah, I
go
mean, that
back
was
and take
never
a look.
meant to be a knife storage option, but it
No,
works great. So
definitely a filing cabinet.
ideas like these are ones that most appeal to me because it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you were really thinking outside the box there, and
Well, as soon as he posted
yeah,
it in there, we were both talking about it straight away. It's fantastic.
right. Well, think about it like this: if that had been labeled knife storage cabinet, it would have been $300 or more,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
But he gets it for $10 because he gets it used. And nobody thought of the way to use it, or it was in the way, or whatever, you know. So
So,
just
Ian,
thinking
if you
outside the
watch
box.
this, I'm
Yeah,
gonna take your idea, and if I find something like this anywhere, I'm buying it and using it. I'm taking your idea. It's brilliant. I love it.
yeah, it really is nice. I mean, and you have a small room there,
Yeah,
and that would still fit in there, you
there's
know.
enough room for that in the corner somewhere. Stack it
Right.
up inside. You could even put it inside the wardrobe at the back. There's plenty of room in there for that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a perfect option. I'm actually going to look out for one of those, see what I can find.
Yeah, I've not seen one like that. I've just seen normal file cabinets, which would
Hmm.
not be what you'd want.
No, not with the deep drawers and the pull out, the massive pull
Yeah,
out.
and they're like a foot tall. You know, it doesn't make
Yeah,
a lot of sense. But yeah, that was a good contribution, Ian. So we really
yeah. We
appreciate that.
both love that one. I think it's the best one we had. Don't you think?
I think so. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, if you have a large collection, that'd definitely work really well. And I like the idea that he kind of propped it up on something, so you know you have to
yeah,
bend over quite so far to get to the bottom.
yeah. It's all labeled. I just think it's brilliant.
Right.
Slides all the way out. It looks like he's got something lining the drawers as well. And you can see he's even got the knives. They're too deep in there as well. So it's not just like his one layer at the front. You can see from the open drawer it's too deep.
Yeah.
So there's obviously loads of storage in there.
And it's very sturdily built, so it
Mm,
would handle the weight of it. You know.
yeah. It's not
So
like the drawers are going to fall through. It's obviously
no.
meant for holding something like with a little bit of weight. And I'm actually going to say it, Ian, I'm jealous of your storage. I would like your storage.
There you go. But I think that's gonna be it, man. You got anything else to add?
Nothing else from me. I
Okay. Well,
I
I
just
think
think this is a topic that people need to discuss more. We need
yeah,
more
and
people
like
to
we said,
sort of share how they do it.
we covered all these different things, but think outside the box. Don't limit yourself to these choices or options.
Mm,
These are like like the basic obvious things that what people would buy. Something like Ian's, which probably is the best of the thing. Never intended to hold knives, but that's probably the best of what does
yeah,
the holding the knives.
and the cheapest by far.
Yeah. I mean, even with mine, I get a little concerned with the build quality of the drawers being able to hold the weight. So I wouldn't be able to necessarily fill them up with, like the heavier.
Yeah, you couldn't have a
knives.
drawer of buck 110s, could you? That would fall right through.
No. It's just like the cheap layered backing board that you see like on the back of cheap furniture.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like it's like almost compact dust. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah,
fiber board. Like
yeah,
I don't what is it, like a 2/8 inch, not even a 1/4 inch thick.
yeah, real flimsy.
Yeah, it's not going to hold up to that kind of weight. But yeah, just think outside the box is my takeaway from this.
Nailed it. As we've been saying, he's found something that's an absolute bargain at a charity shop, turned it into a nice storage container, and it works perfectly.
Yeah. So props to Ian. You win the storage contest.
Just a great option.
We'll be on the lookout for something similar, right?
Definitely. We both will.
All right, that's going to do it for the show, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I am Thrifty. He is
Slippy.
And we will see you next time. Next week we'll be live. No pre-recorded. We just did this because he had to work this week.
Yeah.
Next week you're available.
Every so often.
So the next 4 weeks will be live.
And next 4 weeks will be live. And what time is that, John?
10:30 a.m. Central Time, 4:30 p.m. UK time on Sundays. So we'll see you then. Take care, guys.
Thanks, guys.